And, oh, by the way, he is. 28 TDs, 11 picks, 65% completion percentage, passer rating at 95, yards per game, 275. That's with all new stuff. So I just want to remind you of something. The only three quarterbacks with more touchdowns this year are Patrick Mahomes, Russell Wilson, and Aaron Rodgers. That's it. Okay. The only quarterback with more completions, there isn't one. Tom leads the league. The only quarterback with more passing first downs is Patrick Mahomes. It's interesting. The only quarterback with more 20-plus yard completions, Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, and Deshaun Watson. The only quarterback with more attempts, there is none. Tom leads the NFL. And by the way, with Aaron Rodgers, with Mahomes, Russell Wilson, they knew the system. Big advantage. Do you think it's a shock that Russell Wilson's leading his division, Patrick Mahomes is leading his division, and Aaron Rodgers is leading his division? Why? Because in a year of COVID and no preseason, they got a jump start in everybody. Tom, September and October, he's learning it, figuring it out. Mike Evans was hurt. Chris Godwin hurt. O.J. Howard left. They picked up Fournette right before the season. Let's do a little blind resume. Because I know we have this feeling that, Tom is really struggling. Although he's not, obviously. Again, he leads the NFL in several categories. So blind resume, we put up Tom Brady's years. For our radio audience, I put Tom on the left and the question mark on the right. So Tom has 28 touchdowns, 11 picks. The mystery quarterback on the right has only 19 touchdowns and 9 picks. The mystery quarterback has a higher completion percentage, but throws for less yards per game and about the same passer rating. Who is that? Who is the mystery? We all love Kyler Murray. We all love Kyler Murray. All right. Okay. And by the way, Kyler Murray came back with the same coach, and they added DeAndre Hopkins. All right, let's go Tom Brady and mystery quarterback again. Okay, the mystery quarterback, fewer touchdowns, much lower completion percentage, fewer yards per game, and the passer rating much lower. What would that be? Who's the mystery quarterback? Oh, that's Tom in New England. Ask Cam Newton how that New England thing works out when you're throwing to stiffs. If you don't believe Tom Brady, if you think he's washed, go look at his numbers last year in New England. Cam Newton, have you seen his numbers this year? And Cam Newton's got talent. Cam Newton is not untalented. Cam Newton's an MVP. Tom Brady's numbers last year in New England are shockingly good. They're like, Matt Stafford this year, except Stafford's got Kenny Golladay and has guys who can run and catch. So for everybody that's freaking out, Tom is fine. Tom is good. Mahomes, Rodgers, Wilson, nobody thought Tom Brady is as good as those guys. Nobody thought that. But he lines up with everybody else pretty well, considering all the other top quarterbacks had the system, had the coordinator, had the preseason, had the camp, they had that experience at least 1 year last year. By the way, Cam has 4 touchdowns and 9 picks this year. So you go look at Brady's numbers last year, it's like, wow. If you thought he was washed, go look at his numbers last year and look what Cam's doing. With same coach, same offensive coordinator. Offensive line's actually better. Joy with the news.
No.
Turn on the news. This is the Herd Line News.
There have been some calls for Jalen Hurts to take over the Eagles with Carson Wentz struggling so much this season, but Hurts' presence may be a contributing factor to Wentz's bad performance. He reportedly was very upset when Philly drafted Hurts in the second round this year. The belief is that Wentz already had to prove he was worthy of the starting job after Nick Foles, and is once again uncertain if the team is committed to him long term.
Can I throw this out?
Yes.
So he already had the deal with the Nick Foles statue thing.
Sure.
So if you watch Philadelphia, I don't think backup quarterback was the thing they needed most. But I want to remind everybody that last year Carson Wentz, dealing with historically bizarre injuries.
Absolutely.
27 TDs, 7 picks, 93 passer rating, won his division, 4,000 yards, 64% completion percentage, and played all 16 games. His reward for that, and he's not Aaron Rodgers 37, he's 27. His reward for that was a quarterback in the second round. And when you watch them play, and you watch their offensive line, and you watch their wide receivers, and you watch their linebacking core, because I do think their secondary is talented, all I'm saying is I get it. I'm not saying, like Jalen Hurts to me, I thought second round was a little high, but I get the fact that I have a statue outside of my stadium with Nick Foles. Could you be a little sensitive to a guy that feels like the city's not really behind him? Just a little sensitive.
I'm torn on this because, one, I am a very competitive person.
Yes.
And I live with the lingering anxiety that at any moment things could change. So I just believe in working hard and doing a good job all the time. This is a competitive industry that you're in, the NFL. And while I hated the Jordan Love pick, and I didn't particularly love the Jalen Hurts pick, you have to go out there and compete. And Nick Foles won the Super Bowl. You didn't.
I know.
Why? Because you were injured. So that's someone's fault, right? But that's what happened. So had he won the Super Bowl and then there was a statue of Nick Foles because he came in and did some trick play or something, then okay, maybe you'd be a little sensitive.
Well,
I'm sympathetic to Aaron Rodgers having an attitude about Jordan Love. Carson Wentz is like, man, come on, you got to go out there and compete.
Okay, so let me say this. In the NBA, it's understood. You would go to your star player and ask, hey, does James Harden fit with you? I mean, that's kind of the understanding.
Yeah.
And that guy's not even replacing you. The NBA will ask their star, do you want to play alongside him? In the NFL, the guy you draft can replace you. And so Wentz is like, bro, I saw last year we had no receivers and no offensive linemen. Look at my numbers. Could you give me I
don't think it was the right pick.
Right.
Like I agree with that. But the idea that like someone can always replace you, of course someone can always replace you.
I know.
What have you accomplished?
I think you have to be sensitive to people's history, and I think Philadelphia wasn't sensitive enough about this Foles statue thing, which has been
very millennial.
Well, he is a millennial.
I mean, I'm a millennial, but I'm just saying, like, this is, I try to be very, not even try to, I'm naturally aware to personalities and the emotional side of sports and the personal side of sports.
Yes.
But I do think that there is something to, when you're Aaron Rodgers, you can be pissed that they took Jordan Love.
Yeah.
You're 13-3 in an NFC Championship game the year before. It's a little ridiculous. Carson Wentz, like, and then I don't think it's just this. I think Frank Reich is a huge factor that's being overlooked in this situation.
It's a multifaceted issue.
The injuries are something. Yes. I think he has a little bit of a confidence hit. There's multiple factors playing into why he's playing this way this year.
Yeah.
But you got to go out and compete at the end of the day. So the Giants control their destiny in the NFC East right now.
They do.
They are 4-7, but they hold a tiebreaker over Washington for first place. And according to Fox Bet, they are the favorites to win their first division title since 2011 at plus 210. Washington is a close second at plus 220. Then the Eagles and Cowboys follow them up. The Giants' remaining schedule is at the Seahawks.
Then it gets easy.
Then the Cardinals, Browns, at the Ravens, and the Cowboys.
So they get the Cardinals, the Browns, and the Cowboys at home.
Yes.
I think they win those games. Dave Gettleman, who I thought initially was kind of a goober at the microphone. I thought he was the opposite of Mike Tomlin and Gruden. He was brutal.
Wasn't my favorite either.
He was bad in front of the microphone. I got to be honest, that OBJ trade has really been valuable. Dexter Lawrence and a starting guard and Jabril Peppers have played well. And he had a very interesting draft, and this Daniel Jones can play a little bit when he cuts down. We have to be reasonable in our business. Just because we have an initial strong take doesn't mean I can't move off it. I was so anti-Gettleman. The Joe Judge hire looks good. That OBJ trade this morning looks pretty darn good. I liked their draft last year, and I got to be honest. This is not a terrible football team. They are a Saquon Barkley and a receiver away from being really, really interesting.
It's always good for our business when the Cowboys are playing well, right? But this is a down year for the Cowboys. I love what the Giants are doing, and I feel like the NFL is better when the Giants are competitive.
Yeah, so do I.
One of those like blue blood cornerstone organizations in the NFL.
Like the Bears.
Yeah, so I'm always rooting for them to do well. And they're in New York. Like, it's just, there's a lot of factors. But I'm excited about everything they're doing. And I actually am rooting for them to win this division because I think it has the most value for the New York Giants in that division, trending up